I don't care whether I go down in history as a bad guy or a good guy. What is important is what is achieved in this country.
Hi, I'm QISTINA IMANINA binti Muhammad FAIRULHISHAM, and I am registered under the student ID 2024 936 and 213. Hi, I'm QISTINA IMANINA binti.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Iman RIZQIN Ramazan bin Abdullah, and my matric number is 2024 925 453.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is MARISSA binti AZLI and my matric number is 2024 776 733. Assalamualaikum and hi,
my name is Muhammad ARZAINDRA REZA bin SYAMSULRIZAL. My matric number is 2024 779175.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Iman, and today I will present about the introduction of Mahathirsm and also one of the core of Mahathirsm, which is populism. So when we talk about Malaysian modern political identity, one name rises above the rest is Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. His political ideology is often called as Mahathirsm, which is a dynamic and times paradoxical blend of strong political centralization, assertive nationalism, and ambitious development economics. It is an ideology that did not simply shape policy, which is it will transform the trajectory of contemporary Malaysia. Mahathirsm unfolded across the two distinct eras of Mahathir leadership. The first one is during his long tenure from 1981 to 2003 under UMNO and Barisan Nasional, and later his unexpected return to the office with the opposition, which is from 2018 to 2020 with Pakatan Harapan under Parti Pribumi Bersatu. Mahathirsm is also defined by its forceful defense of Malaysian and developing world autonomy. Mahathir often positioned Malaysia as a strong, independent voice challenging Western dominance economically, ideologically, and also culturally. In short, Mahathirsm represents not just a political ideology, but as a nation-building formula, which is one of that mixes ambition, authority, and nationalism to redefine what Malaysia could become.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ARZAINDRA REZA. Today I will talk about the background of Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. Let's go. So I will proceed with the presentation where I present to you about the background of Mahathir Mohamad. Mahathir bin Mohamad was born on 10 July 1925 in Alor Kedah. He was studied at Seberang Perak Malay School, and after that he continued at the King Edward VII Medical College, and after graduated he worked as a medical officer, and later he opened his own clinic, which is known as the Maha Clinic. His political career was began when he joined UMNO during the opposing the Malayan Union. Then after that he was trusted by his own party to contested in general election, where he contested in Kota Selatan constituency, and resultly he won the seat, and 1 year later he was elected into the UMNO Supreme Council. But after a few years he was sacked, and there's so many conflict during his was sacked for UMNO, and later he was returned to UMNO after that. So after he was returned to the UMNO, he was later appointed into the as a Minister of Education, where later he was appointed as a Deputy Prime Minister in 1976. The political career, his political career was rose when he was appointed as a Prime Minister of Malaysia in 1981. Then we know the rest of history. During his premiership, he has so many doing something that policy plan, or even a development in Malaysia, where his policy is a modernizing Malaysia into the modern country. For example, during his premiership, he launched a Proton, where Proton is the first national car. Like, the result, we see the Proton and other Malaysian type of car is been using in the road, and so many people using them, the car and the vehicle, Proton vehicle. Even the high status people or politicians use the car. Then look at his policy, the policy where the Mahathir want to Malaysian as a good working attitude, where he learned and implemented the Japanese and Korean culture into the Malaysian system culture. Like, for example, the name tag. The name tag actually is come from the Japanese culture system. Then, and the most popular one is Vision 2020, where the Vision 20 is Mahathir want to make Malaysia become a good country, a great country. But the Vision 2021 is not. In the vision, it's not doing as what he's planned, but he believes, but he said that the plan is his plan has many done positive way. What he doing during his premiership is modernize Malaysia, and that's why he get a title father of Malaysian modernization. However, in 2003, he was resigned after 20 years in office, and in 2003, and then he was retired from the political. But actually he's not really retired. He always commenting and criticize the other politician, and like Dr. Dr. Sain Najib Razak premiership, and so many politicians has been commented and criticized. However, in 2016, he was returned into the political back and founded his own party to against his own old party, which is UMNO. He founded Bersatu and joined Pakatan Harapan, and surprisingly, he defeated Barisan Nasional in 2018 general election and become the 7th Prime Minister of Malaysia. And fun fact, he's the first and the only Prime Minister in Malaysia that become a Prime Minister 2-time non-consecutive term. That's all what we can learn is so many achievement, and so many achievement, and his whole life is so challenging. He's so many great and bad situation, like we can learn from him. That's all, like we can learn as an inspiration for us. That's all for me.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is QISTINA IMANINA. As you guys know, Mahathirsm is the ideology of Mahathir. And today I'll be presenting about Mahathir Mohamad's idea of nationalism. So, Mahathir promoted two types of nationalism, are Malay nationalism and Malaysian nationalism. Malay nationalism focuses on improving the Malays, while Malaysian nationalism includes all races in the country. Mahathir believed that Malays needed to recognize their economic weaknesses and work to improve themselves as the main group in Malaysia. He also believed that Malays must have a strong and secure political position for the country to be stable. But at the same time, he admitted that Malays were behind other races, especially in education and the economy. This created a dilemma for him because he wanted Malays to lead, but also he knew that they were still catching up. In order for this issue, Mahathir supported special rights, government help, and policies that will increase Malay skills and education. However, he also understood that too much protection might make Malays too dependent on the government, which can lead the Malays become lazier. Mahathir also expanded his idea to Malaysian nationalism, where all races should unite and work as one nation. But he still believed that Malay rights and leadership must remain. The ideology of his nationalism is the development and modernization. Mahathir believes that a strong country must be modern and advanced. This is why he focused on the big national projects like Vision 2020, Proton, and KLCC. So throughout the Look East policy, he encouraged Malaysians to learn disciplines and industrial skills from Japan and Korea. A good example is the Modena's Chris motorcycle. It uses modern technology, but it's named after the Malay weapon keris, showing modern development mixed with national identity. This is the key point where Mahathir wanted to maintain the nationalism but in the people, but yet also wants to follow up the industry. This shows why his nationalism is both powerful and complex.
Bring us the technology along with it. So to do that, you need very strong policies to change the character of the people so that they also can make progress and become strong. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Iman and today I will present it about the introduction of Mahathirism and also one of the core of Mahathirism, which is populism. So when we talk about Malaysian modern political identity, one name rises above the rest is Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. His political ideology is often called as Mahathirism, which is a dynamic and times paradoxical blend of strong political centralization, assertive nationalism, and ambitious development economics. It is an ideology that did not simply shape policy, which is it will transform the trajectory of contemporary Malaysia. Mahathirism unfolded across the two distinct eras of Mahathir leadership. The first one is during his long tenure from 1981 to 2003 under UMNO and Barisan Nasional, and later his unexpected return to the office with the opposition, which is from 2018 to 2020 with Pakatan Harapan under Parti Pribumi Bersatu. Mahathirism is also defined by its forceful defense of Malaysian and developing world autonomy. Mahathir often positioned Malaysia as a strong, independent voice challenging Western dominance economically, ideologically, and also culturally. In short, Mahathirism represents not just a political ideology, but as a nation-building formula, which is one of that mixes ambition, authority, and nationalism to redefine what Malaysia could become. One of the major features of Mahathir's populism was his strong anti-Western and anti-colonial rhetoric. He often portrayed Malaysia as a developing nation which is still affected by colonial inequalities and Western dominance. Through his speeches and policies, he emphasized the legacy of colonial exploitation and urged Malaysians to resist Western cultural, economy, and political influence, that creating a shared sense of national struggle. Mahathir also accused Western institutions such as the IMF global markets and international media of practicing double standards that harm non-Western countries. During the Asian financial crisis, he used his narrative to blame foreign currency traders and Western speculation for Malaysia's suffering, framing the crisis as a conflict between an oppressed nation and predatory outsider. This rhetoric tapped into Malaysian post-colonial memory and strengthened national identity. Rejecting the Western models became a symbol of cultural pride and self-determination. We can see from the Look East policy, which is reflected this shift by encouraging the Malaysian to emulate Asian values and development models rather than Western ones. Ultimately, Mahathir anti-Western critique also helped consolidate internal power by suggesting that opposing his policies means siding with foreign interests. This reinforced his populist claim of representing the authentic voice of the Malaysian people. Another major aspect of Mahathirism is authoritarian populism. So, authoritarian populism is a system that combines a strong executive power with the populist rhetoric to justify the political centralizations. Mahathir framed his leadership around national uplift, disciplined citizenship, and rapid economic modernization, and positioning himself as the leader that capable of delivering these goals. He also portrayed himself as the champion of the people, especially the Malay majority, contrasting the hardworking rakyat with obstacles to progress such as labor critics, Western forces, and unproductive elites. By casting himself as a protector of national interests, he argued that the strong leadership was essential for Malaysian stability. A clear example in his response is Persib, which is he described as a foreign-funded attempt to destabilize Malaysia and undermine the UMNO Barisan Nasional government. Mahathir authoritarian populism also relied on state-controlled economic networks. The rise of GRC's selective contracts and UMNO-linked businesses tied economic opportunities to political loyalty, reinforcing his control while framing these measures as a support for Malays through the NAP and its successor. Overall, the authoritarian populism under Mahathirism was a deliberate strategy. Mahathir blended this popular appeal with concentrate authority and presenting himself as a visionary guiding Malaysia toward modernity and the defender of the national sovereignty. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Marissa and now I'll be presenting about authoritarianism in Mahathirism. Authoritarianism is a system where power is controlled by one leader or small group. It's a system where people has a limited freedom to speak, protest or challenge the government. In Malaysia, authoritarianism became more visible during the leadership of Tun Mahathir Mohamad, especially around the year of 1987, which was his 7th year as Prime Minister. During this time, the government became more strict in controlling politics. One major example is Operation Lalang in 1987, where many politicians, activists and journalists were arrested using the Internal Security Act, which also known as the ISA. This law allowed people to be detained without going to court. This meant a person could be arrested and placed in jail even if they never proven guilty. Authoritarianism was also shown through censorship and restricted speech. Newspapers that criticized the government were closed down and the media was tightly controlled. Because of this, many journalists were afraid to report the truth and people were afraid to speak openly about politics. The public could only read or hear information that supported the government, which reduced freedom of expression. Another important side of authoritarianism was weakening of the courts. In 1988, some top judges were dismissed during the judicial crisis. This showed that the court could not challenge the government. When the court are weak, they cannot protect the rights of the people. Power also became more centralized in the Prime Minister's office. Instead of sharing power with parliament or other institutions, decisions were made by a small group at the top. Loyalty was expected and disagreement was punished. In conclusion, Mahathirism combines strong leadership and economic development in strict control. While Malaysia grew during this time, people's freedom became more limited. This is why Mahathir's leadership is often described as authoritarian, which is powerful, effective, but tightly controlled. And now I will pass the other explanation to the next presenter.
So we proceed to the Islamic value. Let's go. Okay, I will present to you about the Islamic value. In Mahathirism, Islam is the main core. Islam is the main foundation that has been influenced Mahathir policy, plans, and also his view. Where Mahathir is supporting progressive and moderate Islam, where he believes that Islam must open to the development, technology, science, and education. He also believes that Islam as a driver of progress, and Muslims should balance spirituality with active involvement in worldly development. Other than that, he also believes that focus on the Muslim must focus on mastery science, technology, mathematics, and history to ensure competitiveness internationally, and also knowledge and development. Islamic value encourage seeking knowledge for nation building, where he believes that Islam wants his people to develop their own people for their benefit. And he believes that Islam has teaching it. It has teaching it. Other than that, the religious guidance must be combined with worldly knowledge for effective development. Where he believes that religious guidance with worldly methods is important for the development and other great features. Then other than that, he also believes that good governance is inspired by Islam, where the core value is justice, accountability, efficiency, and trust. He also declined that Muslim nation attribute to poor leadership, and it's not because of Islam, it's because of that leader itself. He also believed that Islam also brings integrity, transparency, and effective state management. In conclusion, Islam in Mahathirism is guide a knowledge, progressive, and ethical society, where he believes the true Islam is teaching the positive way to achieve something that bring the benefit for the people, for the country, and for the better future. If we Mahdi believe that if we believe in true Islam, we will achieve that perfectly. That's all from me. I will pass to the QISTINA IMANINA for the conclusion. Thank you.
So, to wrap everything up, Mahathirism is basically Mahathir's unique ideology for building Malaysia, a mix of nationalism, Islamic values, modernization, and his very strong leadership style. His policies like Vision 2020, Look East Policy, and Proton were all of his mission to push Malaysia into the future. Even though some of his methods were a bit authoritarian, but his goals was always clear to make Malaysia stronger, smarter, and more self-reliant. And honestly, many of his ideas are still relevant till today, like focusing on technology, working hard, and being confident in our own identity. Love him or not, we can't deny that Mahathir left a huge impact to our country. He did his best as a prime minister, and Malaysia today is still shaped by his vision. Thank you.